Bring on the public holidays. Hi everyone, welcome to Talk and Chalk. I'm Beck and today I'm going to show you my absolute favorite Easter activity to do. I'm not calling it an Easter craft because there's so much more to it involved. The best part about it, it's cheap and easy. Before I get into it though, I'm going to let everyone know that my links to all my social media are all below and you're going to need it so that you can open up the link to my Pinterest account because some of the things that I'm referring to are going to be in there. Plus I saved a ton of great pins. What are they called? Pin it, activities, resources, whatever. I saved a bunch in an Easter board. So what I'm going to do is before I show you my absolute favorite one, I'm going to show you some of the pins that I saved on some really simple ones. I don't like doing things where I have to go out and spend a ton of money and then get really fiddly and pretty much spend 3 hours creating something that the kids are only going to spend 20 minutes making themselves. I like to keep it simple but significant. So I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm going to show you what my Pinterest account looks like in case you haven't seen it. And I'm going to go into the Easter board that I created. So this is what my Pinterest account looks like. That's my photo. That's me and the family in Queensland. It's a bit old, that photo. It doesn't have my third bub in it, so I probably should update that at the moment. And I haven't even mentioned this YouTube channel on there, just my older one. So the latest one I made is my Easter one, but you can see I've got other ones on there. Stage 3 is a lot recently because that's what I'm sort of supervising this year. I've got back to my Christmas ones. I've got learning intentions and success criteria, some Google Classroom stuff, lots of stuff on frogs, maths, some L3 things that I've used before, some general education things. The fairy tale stuff has lots of stuff. We were doing that last year, so there's some good stuff in there. And just some other random things as well. I don't have I guess too much because I only started using Pinterest last year, so it's I guess a new resource for me, but I kind of got really into it recently. It's really good. So anyway, let's go into the Easter board and wait for that to load. So you can see I've got some templates here that's really good for coloring. I love these ones because it just gives you so much scope to be detailed if you want to, and you can talk about patterns and size and colors and angles and all that sort of thing. Some templates, some basic eggs. This one's a good dot one there for the younger ones if you're going to practice some fine motor on the top. Blank one, blank bunny. How cool is this idea? Just going to, you know, Bunnings or whatever and getting the color charts and turning them into bunnies. It's so cute. This one's good too. It's just the outline with crepe paper wrapped around it and then flowers and chicks stuck on top. This one is actually a tutorial about drawing the different lines on the eggs, wet chalk, some Easter science. Oh, this one's cool too. So we've got some more templates there with the detailed designs, some more bunnies, a detailed egg again. This is cool. It's the sponges that have been cut into an egg shape. Those are the cheapo sponges you just get from Woolies. You get a pack of like, what is it, 8 for $2 or something. Some more coloring. So there's the paint charts again, but this time cut like eggs. So they look really cool. This marbled paper is with shaving cream. These are just pegs painted. This is so simple too. This is just orange bubble wands and then you add green stuff at the end to make it look like the stems. And if you go to Kmart, what was the price? I think it was 50 cents the last time I saw these at Kmart. What do you call it? Cookie decorating, biscuit decorating with just icing and sprinkles and stuff. But you know, if you show pictures to the kids, they'll want to be creative and do it differently. Some more peg craft there. The bunnies, I like these ones. This is like the reindeer one that I showed you guys last year. You just do different patterns in different lines. Bunny nose masks, so paddle pop sticks with some pipe cleaners and some paper, and you can put them on and take some selfies. That's it. So what I'm going to take you back up to though is up here. So for the activity that I do with my kids, which I've done this from kindergarten to year 6 and they've always loved it, I usually use either the blank templates like this or templates that have basic patterns like this. And I usually get the kids to make the 9 like this one here. And have a look at this branch here. That's what we go and collect. So what we do is, leading up to doing this activity, I take the kids out for a walk usually, and I've been lucky, I've been in schools where there's always been trees that drop lots of branches. We go and collect branches that look like that white one just there, and bring it inside. And we usually look for something that has lots of points coming out of it. So you don't just want one stick. That's not going to work. It's got to have lots of branches coming out. And if you don't have a school environment that's dropping branches like that, you know, go for a walk on weekend, or ask the kids to bring them in. It's not bad. It's a good way to sort of tie in with science or environment or whatever you're doing in the classroom. And you bring that in, and then you'll need to have something to keep it weighted down in. So I've always asked the kids to just bring in an old tin or an old container of some kind, and then we just dump rocks and dirt into it to keep it sturdy. Then what you do is you have the egg templates, and they can color them in, but they need to do it back and front. And sometimes you'll see them really focusing on that aspect of, do I use pencil, do I use crayon, do I use texture, and do I put it up on the window so I can see through it and color it the exact same on the other side? What will happen if I do it differently on the other side and it's hanging up? Will I be able to see through and it'll ruin the pattern? And that's like a whole problem solving process in itself on that. And then if they are looking through, you can have that conversation about, you know, translucency and how light passes through things, and why would it go through the paper? Why does texture go through paper but not pencil? And this doesn't really necessarily tie in with any kind of particular unit that I'm doing. This is just a great activity to get conversation going. And then once they've done that, they cut it out, and I always put them into laminating sheets and laminate them. When we take them back into the classroom, they get to punch holes into a space on the egg, and usually I don't tell them where to put the hole, because this is then where they get to explore that whole process of what it looks like when it hangs. So the older kids usually clue into it. They know to put a hole at the top and that's where it's going to hang, but you know, the younger ones might put it anywhere and it'll look different when it's hanging. And then the next step is letting them choose what they're going to hang it with, and I like to give a combination of just random string. What do I want to say? Yarn. It's called yarn, I think, if you get it from Bunnings. So yarn, wool, thin wool or thick wool. I like to get raffia. If you're in a different country, I'm not sure what you call it in a different country, but it's like that plasticky string. It's like blue and green and red. It's lots of different colors. And I also like to get pipe cleaners and curling ribbon as well. And you just have all of that stuff out there for them to choose from. The idea is to encourage them to try something different with each egg. So if they've made 9 eggs, they can choose from 9 different types of hanging material to put it onto the branches that they've made. You can paint the branches or whatever if you want to. I like to keep them as that plain wood color because that's just the way I like it to look. Up to you. Modify as needed. And then let the kids hang them on there and then decide, do they need it to be short? Do they need it to be long? Do they want the eggs all hanging in a row? And if they do they need to hang them on the one branch or different branches with different lengths? And they just really get to problem solve and then measure and cut, and if they don't like it, they can take it off and try it again. And this kind of goes on for the few days leading up to Christmas. So I kind of started on the Monday, and if I know I don't have branches and things, then I've usually sent a note home the week before saying, can you send in branches? And I put a picture of an example on there. I like this task as well too, because if you've got some kids in the class who don't celebrate Easter, you can modify and get them to hang something else on there that's not an egg, because then they're still doing that measuring, that problem solving, that trial and error that comes into figuring out how things hang, how things are weighted, how different textured materials can hold things differently, and how they can tie and things like that. So, you know, they can still be part of that process even if they're not doing the egg part. So you just find something that ties into it. So I mean, if you're studying frogs, then they can hang frogs or something. And then at the end of the week, you've got this beautiful artwork that goes home. It doesn't have to stay in the class. If you've got space, Every year that I've done this, I haven't really had enough space for 20 to 30 of these to stay in the classroom. So they look really cool those, you know, days that you're working on it until it's time for them to take them home, which is usually the day before Good Friday. And then they get to go home and look like a beautiful piece of artwork at home, and then the parents can deal with it when they get home. But you can take photos leading up to it, and it's just so cool because the conversation that comes out of it is really, really quite engaging without necessarily worrying about learning about Easter itself if that's not something that you're doing in your classroom. And it can tie in with your maths and science. So that's my favorite activity that I love to do at Easter with my class. If you want to go to my Pinterest board, I'm going to link it in the description below like I usually do. If you're watching this video in another format, you'll need to open this up into YouTube to be able to click on the little triangle drop down box thing and see all of my links. And there's my links there to my Twitter and my Facebook and Instagram and everything there as well. So hopefully you enjoy that. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter break, whether you celebrate Easter or not. I hope you have wonderful time with friends or family, or just get the chance to relax, as is definitely needed. Here in New South Wales, we've still got 3 weeks left of school, and I definitely know there's lots of people working hard out there at the moment. So I want to make sure you all take the chance to put your feet up, have a chill, and enjoy the time that you've got. I'm going to put my button down here, so if you want to subscribe to my channel, you just hover over that and click subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It's always good to have the feedback, or drop comments below, and I'll link you one of my other random videos. Thanks guys, bye!